Hey, how's it going, guys? LCD Neffy here today, and I've got for you another tier list back again after a few months. Without a tier list, we have a tier list, and it is on Dead by Daylight killers. Now, before I start, I want to set out my rules for this tier list. So, I'm not doing it objectively based, or else Nurse would be an S tier. Nurse is not going to be an S tier in this because it's my personal opinion on how much I enjoy playing the killers. And we have 5 tiers. S to D. S, A, B, C, and D. So it's going to be my enjoyment. It all includes the latest killer, the Trickster. And I am doing it from the 4.7.0 update, which has included nerfs to Freddy. Only minor nerfs, but it does make Freddy a bit weaker now. I wouldn't say Freddy's... So if I was going objectively before this update, I would put Freddy in S. Now Freddy won't be, but I'm going to, based off my enjoyment and a little bit objective. Because in enjoyment, I don't play Nurse, she just go in D tier. But I'm not going to put Nurse in D tier because I know she has a high skill ceiling, but she's not going in S, let's say, because that's just how it is. I just don't really enjoy playing. I'm not very good at Nurse, I'll be honest. But we'll go more into detail in the killers once we get to them. We're going to start off with Blight, which has to be S tier. I play a lot of Blight. At the minute, he's probably the killer I play the most, even though I'm known for being a bit of a bubble main. Blight, I have a load of fun with him. I think his skill ceiling's incredibly high now, especially with the J flicking. That technique, I don't really utilize that too much because it is so strong. But Blight, since his POV change, and he feels so good since then. But I just enjoy playing him generally, you know, spinning across the map. You have catch up on the survivors, which basically means once they're done with a loop at a certain tile, they try and make the next tile, but you can catch up with them with your rush power. And we're also going to say no big, like, changing add-ons. A lot of add-ons can change the killer. And I'll go into that more with, like, killers like Mike Myers, who, like, have add-ons which literally change their playstyle. Blight, his best add-ons are, like, Alchemist Ring and Blighted Crow. They are so good on him. They make him unbelievably powerful. But if we're just going with no add-ons, he's still very fun. He's still S tier in my opinion. Slightly weaker, though. But even if you just use recovery add-ons on him, it's still a lot more fun. Next, we have Clown. So, obviously, Clown now has yellow bottles as of, I think it was 4.5, the 4.5 update. And he's good. Clown is good. He's fun to play. I wouldn't say he's S or A tier. I do enjoy playing Clown, but he's pretty basic. But there's some kind of strategy to it with his bottles that I kind of enjoy. Obviously, he has anti-loop. Can be a bit annoying to go against. He doesn't have a lot of map pressure, but in terms of... If I had to base it objectively, yeah, in terms of how good Clown is, he'd be in D tier or C tier. And in terms of enjoyment, he'd probably be in B tier. So for that, a mix of both, I'm putting him in C tier. Based off of a mix of both. I think he's one of the weaker killers in the game, especially since, like, Wraith update. Which made Wraith a bit better. Next, we have Slinger. Now, Slinger can be, like, a really fun killer when you hit your shots. You hit shots over walls. You just about hit them. You just about get the down on them. But when you miss your shots, you're fluffing every shot. He can be so annoying to play. Now, in one-on-one situations, this killer can be, like, the best. In them kind of situations, he can shoot over, like, low objects, like small objects, which is fantastic. And, like, fences, sometimes you can shoot over. But in terms of how I like playing him in enjoyment, I think it's got to be B. Very on and off with Slinger. Also, I'm basing all of these killers that I do rank off of, like, what I would say their best perk build is. I'm not going to say that perk build because sometimes that could change. But, like, the perk build that I used on them. So I can run through them as well, but they do change sometimes. But it mostly includes either Ruin Undying or Pop Corrupt. And then a few others. But, like, we're just going to say generally their best perk build. Dead by Daylight players, you will know what generally their best perk build or something around that is. And we're just going to go off that. Now, Doctor, he is another anti-loop killer like Clown. Probably has the best anti-loop in the game because it literally can stop you from vaulting windows, pallets, or even dropping pallets. The Doctor's pretty fun. He also does have an ability where he's able to see where survivors are in a certain range. So the static blast can basically tell you where survivors are, so you never be out of a chase for long. He's quite enjoyable when it goes right. Is he more enjoyable than Slinger? Yeah, it's a 50-50 one. I mean, is he better than Slinger? Probably slightly. He has probably a bit more map pressure, you know, because with his power, that his skill checks going the opposite way. I'm going to put him above Slinger in B, though. He can be quite fun, but I wouldn't say he's just A. Or if he was, he'd be low tier A. Now, Nurse, as I told you, I'm not a good nurse, but she is probably the best killer in the game based off of skill ceiling. However, I don't really enjoy her. I'm not going to put her in D for that fact, because I've had a few games with her where it's kind of enjoyable. I'm going to put her in C. I think there's killers here that I'd rather not play. Or that are extremely 50-50, in my opinion. Or just not fun at all. But Nurse, I'm not a good Nurse. If I was better Nurse, she'd probably be an S tier, let's be honest. If I played her a lot more, got used to her blinks. She has a lot of ceiling there. Like, it's very high in terms of skill. And if you max that or get close to it, you're basically winning every game. You're 4K'ing every game on pretty much every map, even if the survivors are stupidly efficient, because she can have a lot of pressure, right, with her blinks. Next, we got Pyramid Head. Again, this is another killer I'm 50-50 on. With the build I'm using right now, I'm all ears, does help me out a lot with the shooting through walls. If I was going from a survivor side, I hate playing against Pyramid Head. There's a lot of scummy tactics you can pretty much use as Pyramid Head to win you every game. Is he enjoyable, though? Yes, when you hit a shot, it's very satisfying. And also when you torment them and then final judgment them. I'm going to put him in A for now. This could be bottom tier A, though. But he is enjoyable. Especially if you have, like, Run and Dying. You basically get near people, force them into your torment, down them, either cage them or hook them. See, this is why, if pop was on him, and you obviously get the cage, you don't get the pop value. So, it's a bit of a sticky one. That's why I prefer Ruin on Pyramid Head. Next, we have Freddy. So, this is a killer who got a pretty big nerf. Was he fun to play with before? Not really. He's never really been a fun killer. He's pretty basic killer. I mean, his teleporting gives a bit of strategy sometimes. But obviously, his pools of blood only affect people in Dreamworld. Dreamworld's been changed a bit, so it's weaker now. Basically, if they go to a clock, even if you hit them, it'll have a certain period. It won't put them into Dreamworld once they've been, like, 60-second time. If you hit them within 6 seconds, they won't go into Dreamworld. So he's less fun. He wasn't really a fun killer anyway, because I only really used him a lot to farm blood points, because it was really easy to farm blood points with Freddy. Is he more fun than Clown? Possibly. He has a lot more map pressure. Is he more fun than Slinger? It's 50-50. I'm going to put Freddy low B tier. He has map pressure, and the teleporting to gens can give you a bit more strategy sometimes. It can create a lot of pressure, so that's kind of fun. But the chaser is pretty much boring. If you know how to use his pool of blood, no one's even going to make the pallets. You can just get hit on, even though they reduced the amount of pools you can put out at one time. Next, we have the Ghostface, and guys, remember, you can't 360 the Ghostface. But Ghostface is pretty fun. Against top-tier players like Red Ranks, most of them just get you out your power early. And if you want to keep, like, the ones that you've got marked at, like, 80% for later, then they'll just hide and stuff. Because they pretty much know. Is he fun? Yes. When it goes right? Yes. Can he be abused too easily? Yes. I'm going to put him above Freddy in B tier. Is he more fun than Slinger? No, because he's a basic M1 killer. I mean, Slinger has something else to him, I guess. Hag. Now, Hag he's got to be, it's one of, like, the 3 most boringest killers in the game. She's boring. She's not fun at all. She's basic. She's a camping killer who, like, the killer's literal power is to camp, get a hook, camp, teleport back, get a free hit, down, get a trade, hook. Do I like that playstyle? No, because it's not chase-oriented. I do prefer the chase-oriented killers rather than a territorial killer. That being said, I do like Trapper, but Trapper you can kind of do both with. It's a bit more strategic, I would say. She can place like 10 traps down in one area. You can't move. Because if she's chasing you, you just run over the trap, she teleports there, spam control, and then hits you. So, Hag's my first D tier. Sorry, any Hag mains out there. I just really dislike Hag. From a killer point of view, and from a survivor point of view, I really dislike her. Next, we have the Demogorgon come. But he's pretty funny as he can teleport as well with his portals. Set them up, they can give you a lot of information. Is he fun? Yes. Can he get bullied an immense amount? Yes. He is very bullyable, especially if you miss shreds. Now, this is where it's kind of conflicting, so I want to put him in A based off all his abilities. I want to put him in C based off the fact I get bullied all the time, so he's going to probably go ahead of Death Slinger, just behind Doctor, for me. Next, we have Billy. Now, Billy is a killer I'm always hesitant to play. Obviously, his chainsaw can overheat. If you back rev too much, you can be a crap Billy. Try and do all the curves. When you hit a sniper, like, kind of cross map with Billy, it's so enjoyable, though. He is pretty weak. On the other hand, you get forced to M1 the survivors a lot, which means you can't insta-down with your chainsaw. And on certain maps, he's really unenjoyable, even though I managed to I kind of 4K a lot. I'm going to put him in C tier. Just based off the fact it's too easy to bully Billy. Your chainsaw can be used like very minuscule amount of times against good players. You just have to M1 them, which is like, it's not fun playing a killer when you can't use that power, right? Next we have Huntress, who throws hatchets. She's very enjoyable. I'm going to put her in A tier above Pyramid Head, just because it's slightly easier to like get hits with her power. I'm not going to count Iridescent Head, as I've said, because that just insta-downs them, right? Just based, like, maybe maybe throwing the hatchets faster after you've thrown a hatchet or whatever. Or hold, like, slightly more hatchets. She's fun. Obviously, a 110% killer. But she has hatchets. More fun than Death Slinger, who's, like, very comparable to her. In terms of both 110. They kind of have something with range, but Huntress's range, you can literally throw it across map and it can hit someone. And if they're injured, they can down. So, yeah, Huntress is very fun. I'm not going to put her in S tier. I'm going to put her in A tier, though. But, yeah, I'd say she's very fun. I enjoy her a lot. Next, we have Legion. Boring killer, but not D tier, because, like, you can actually, like, chase. Like, it's a very chase-based killer, but it's, like, really easy to get hits with her power. Is Legion lower than Freddy? Kind of more strategy. Legion just hit and run, really. I'm probably going to put Legion top C tier, because, like, you've always got the players injured. And with my build, I run Thanatophobia, so they take a long time to do gens. But overall, not the most fun killer. It's just like, yeah, you use your power, you run faster, get a hit, you can't down them. They have to, like, mend themselves. You go to another person, don't do that until they're all injured, and then you just try and get downs on them, right? So, yeah. Bubba! And as we all know, guys, I love Bubba, obviously. Bubba, where's Bubba going to go? Will I put him S tier? I don't play Bubba in camp, but Bubba has a lot of flaws because I play Bubba that much that Blight doesn't. But when you do get early downs with Bubba, it's rewarding. Is he A or is he S tier? In my opinion, he's S tier. I'm going to put him S tier. I really enjoy it. The chainsaw dash can last for a long time. You can pretty much snipe people pretty easy. You can get 2 downs within your 3 dashes, which is fun when that happens because you basically feel like so good when you hit that and you don't end up tantruming. You know, people try count playing by jumping in lockers. You can kind of like predict that, I guess, but you can do it like 1, 2 dashes in, and the like how long it takes is different. So it's cool that you have like all these like factors in with Bubba. He doesn't have a lot of map pressure, but his insta down helps out a lot. I really enjoy playing Bubba, especially with Bamboozle. People think that's like toxic. People will disagree with me, but I do love playing Bubba. That's why he's in A. Myers, he's my second D. Because if you don't get your Evil Within very quick, let's say you have like slightly more Evil Within value add-on, so you get more quicker. Even that doesn't do a lot. You might get tier 3 Myers once in that game. All the gens are already done by the time you've got it. Like, they might have 4 gens done by the time you've got it. Can you 4-man slug? Yes. If this was like Infinite tier 3 or Scratch Mirror, it'd probably be higher. But Scratch Mirror does depend on the map. But just basic Myers is boring. You can barely get downs with the guy. I mean, does he need a change? Possibly. We'll have to see. Now we have Oni. I think Oni is S tier. Slightly above Bubba. Because you basically have to be an M1 killer. You basically have to actually get hits to get your power. So it's very rewarding, right? If you do good in a chase, then you get your power. It does take a while if you've only hit one person to collect all the blood orbs. And then you get it, and you can get a massive reward from finally getting his power that you've earned by being good in the chase against the survivors, right? And then you can fly across the map at like 200% speed, insta down people. And you know, it's rewarding, right? That's why I like Oni, because it's very rewarding if you do well in the initial chase. Some good survivors, you may not hit them for a while, and they already got 3 gens done by the time you get your first demon dash like ability. Then like you're screwed. But if you manage to get a out of position survivor, hit early, you collect the blood orbs, you get the power, that can be extremely rewarding. So he's got S tier. Piggy, now she has slowdown in game. She's a basic M1 killer with a little bit of mind game with a whole crouch. She has the bear traps, which helps slow down the game naturally. Is she strong? Probably not. Is she kind of fun to play? Yes. Would I say she's more fun than Ghostface? Yes, less bullyable. Is she more fun? I mean, she's easier though, right? Is she more fun? Is she more fun than Doc? Probably. Is she 80? No. Oh, is she more fun than Doc? I'm gonna say no. Is she more fun than Demo? Ish. I'm gonna go here above Slinger. I think that's a fair evaluation of Piggy. She can't get bullied as much as Ghostface, because Ghostface's like power can get nullified. You go into stealth, even if you're really stealthy, good survivors will know where you are. Next we have Plague. This is like one of my most hit and miss killers. Good survivors can punish you so hard. If people don't cleanse, this is why I run Thanatophobia on her. If people don't cleanse, then the gens take a while to do. If they cleanse, you get your power. You might not get your power though. So it's very dependent. If we're going off red ranks, you probably get two corrupt value, and if you get no value from that corrupt, if they've cleansed in the corner, yeah, it's game over, man. She's slightly more fun than Nurse. Is she more fun than Clown? Yes, when it goes right. More fun than Billy? Yes. Is she more fun than Legion? Yes, when it goes right. But the amount of time when it goes right isn't that much, so she's going to go in C tier. I feel like I don't get enough value from the corrupt pools. Bullyable. So she's C tier for me. Next we have Spirit. Should I put her in D based off my survivor? Yes. Am I going to put her in D based off of killer? I really dislike playing Spirit. You rely on sound, which is fair enough. Part called Strider basically makes it super easy to play her. Is she fun though? I mean, when you make a prediction, that can be fun. And you hear the person, you make a prediction, that can be fun. So yeah, but I'm going to put her at the end of B tier. Trapper. Bullyable. Strategic traps. You want to place your traps out before so people don't know where they are. You don't want to do it mid-chase. It's hard with Trapper. He can be bullyable. I think he's going C tier. I think he's going above Billy for me. Just. You have to set out your traps. It takes a while to set out your traps. They could already have a gen done. But once you do, you can be rewarded. If people are dumb enough. Like, good players obviously won't step into your traps. They'll just disarm them when you're not near. it's very hard to force people into your traps if they know where they are as well, which kind of makes him a bit weaker. Next, we have the Trickster. And he's basic, he throws knives. He's not the most fun, but he's less bullyable now. I'd probably say he's slightly over Freddy. I'd probably place him here, in all honesty. Because you're just walking around throwing knives, like, and hoping, like, that they're out of position and getting hits. But he has more pressure now. He's not weak. He's not where you just lose every game, or else he'd be in D. Next, we have the Twins. Now, I played a lot more of the Twins, but these are definitely low. These are quite... You know, to play against especially, but to play with, they're okay, but they're kind of boring. They're probably even worse than Clown. Yeah, I'm going to go here. I've enjoyed playing them more recently, but again, they nerfed them again and made them weaker, and now I hate playing against them as survival. They're sluggy. You kind of have to slug to win it, even as killer, and I don't like that playstyle. So standing by my morals, I'm going to go there, but I think they're better than Myers and Hag. Now we have Wraith. Now, Wraith has a lot of potential because he has a lot of builds, basically, where you can get, like, insta-downs on them, you know, like a Devour build, a Make Your Choice build, or whatever. So, I actually like Wraith. I think Wraith, even though his power is pretty basic, I think he's pretty fun to play. Obviously, like, he has a bit of strategy with blocking pallets, blocking windows, a lot of map pressure, especially if he uses Windstorm items, but I think that's too game changing, so I'm not going to count that add-on. If you just have his basic, though, I actually think he's low A tier. I think he's low A tier. I think he's fun. I think he's very fun when it goes right. I think he can be bullyable, but I'm not going to let that change me. Now, I might make a few changes here, because B and C look a bit stacked. I think there should be more in A. So let me just reevaluate this quickly. Do I think any of these deserve to be in A? Doctor. When Doctor goes right, yes. Would I say he's A tier, though? Because remember, this is in terms of my enjoyment, it's not objective. Should Doctor be in A tier? See, I'm going to move Doctor into low A tier, and then I'm going to keep it as that, because I don't think anyone else deserves to be in A tier. So this is like me ranking killers based off enjoyment. Pyramid Head's high because I don't really get bullied as much as with Pyramid Head as like some of these, even though I might prefer playing these. Pyramid Head, you can basically counter the bullies. You can basically counter the bully squads because he has some scummy tactics. But I mean, if we're not even saying that, you know, he has a bit of anti-loot with the trail. He has range. And he has his basic M1 as well. Now, I'm liking this tier list. Demo and Doctor is like a hard one, but Demo is way too bullyable, even though I find him really fun to play. I think this is the tier list we're going to go for. Maybe Spirit, maybe lower. She's so annoying, especially to play against the Survivor, but we're doing it from the killer standpoint. Yeah, this is the tier list I'm going to go for, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Drop a like if you enjoyed this video. And if you want to see more tier lists, let me know in the comments as well what kind of things you want me to rank. Should I rank killers again, but based off of how I want to play them as Survivor, like looking at a Survivor standpoint, how enjoyable they are to play against? To be fair, all of them would be in D tier then, wouldn't they? Let's be honest. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. LCD Neffy, and I'm out.